How do you replace the scoring of Hunter and Brockington?
Yeah, as we look at guys in the summer, we're certainly trying to determine what guys' strengths are offensively, what things they do the best. I think that's what this 8 weeks for us is really about, determining strengths and putting those guys in the position. So if you'd have asked me that question last year, I wouldn't have probably had a whole lot of clarity on who it would be or how it would be, and I'd say there's probably some of the same. What I can say is I've liked Jaron Holmes, his level of aggressiveness, playmaking, scoring. He's done a great job, and I've been pleased with Gabe and how he's stepped up early on in our workouts. So those two guys at this point have showed some really great things, and we'll continue to develop our offense and what works best and who those guys are to step up and make the shots.
How unique a player is Oshun in terms of, he gives you more than just rim protection, right?
Yeah, he's somebody that is elite in terms of his ability to run and move at his size, which allows him to be really impactful in ball screen defense. It allows him to be impactful running the floor in transition, offensive rebounding, getting to a lane and keeping plays alive, and then, his ability to block shots. We're also encouraging him and challenging him. We think he can knock down the trail three, from the top of the floor. We have confidence in his ability to do that. And as we expand his game, that's something that we're going to hold him accountable to being aggressive to knock that shot down. So, pleased with him, to this point, and long ways to go.
Is his confidence, does your confidence have to keep his confidence in that respect with that shot, because he hasn't done it a whole lot, and might be like,
Well, he needs to know, and he did as we recruited him, that this is about his development. It's about his continuing to improve in that one area. We're really confident we can expand his game and knocking that shot down. So he knows when we were in the recruiting process, I said, not only am I going to hold you accountable to do it, but when you don't do it, your teammates are going to be on, we're going to be running a sprint, or there's going to be a penalty, so they're going to be on you as well. So be aggressive, be confident, trust your work.
You mentioned Gabe as someone that's, kind of impressed so far. How have he and maybe some of the other returners kind of taken on some leadership roles after other guys?
Yeah, we've been a little bit, hamstrung with some guys being out. Caleb and Jazz haven't been able to be out there, but Robert has been very consistent. One thing last year that challenged Robert was being an everyday guy, not being a guy that, some days we can count on one thing and then another day it might be something else. So Robert's really been a great energy guy for us. But with Gabe, we need Gabe to continue to step up offensively. We need Gabe. I felt like as we were ending the season, he was on a high note. I felt like, the Wisconsin game, he was really confident and did a terrific job hunting his shot and getting baskets. And we're going to demand more of that from him and continue to be stubborn and persistent. We know he can score the ball. We know he can be a go-to guy for us, and we're going to demand that from him. And, again, we know he does a great job in all other aspects of the game. He's a phenomenal defender and teammate, but we've got to continue to challenge him in that area.
What's Caleb's situation?
Yeah, so Caleb, he's got a hip injury. It happened last week in practice. It's something that'll probably keep him out for the whole summer, so it's nothing that'll prevent him from playing and practicing in the fall. But it's been a hip injury. It's kind of I don't know what you want to call it, but nothing major, but something that'll likely prevent him from working out this summer in the live team activities.
Is there an update on Jazz?
Jazz really in the same boat. I think for him, that ankle is going to put him in the same spot, in terms of, we don't want to rush him back. So he's another guy who's probably not going to be available for our summer workouts, but we don't anticipate that being anything where he won't be immediately ready to go when we start in the fall.
Along the lines of Jazz, does he need to shoot more? He's your best three-point shooter percentage-wise at least.
Yeah, we're going to demand that he's more aggressive hunting shots for sure. He's somebody that is He's always thinking about his teammates. He's probably unselfish to a fault. Him being more aggressive, especially at the 4, or even at times when we played him at the 5 last year, it's really challenging for opposing defenses. So I think that's the next step for him. He does so many winning things out there, but he needs to understand, and it's my responsibility to keep challenging and pushing him to be more aggressive, hunting those shots, because he is such a great shooter, and that's something that we need.
What's the value of, we have two, we like a lot of you guys coming in, but two in particular who have played together, know each other like Shin and Jaren. But what's the value of that, their familiarity as they integrate themselves into the program?
Yeah, it should allow us to have that synergy right away. They know they've played with each other. They know what their strengths are. They know how to communicate to get the best out of one another. They've had those experiences together. So to have two veteran guys, they've won a lot of games, and they've accomplished a good amount already to this point in their careers. So for them to have the relationship they do, they're roommates, they're guys that they're extremely close, and they both can provide, that veteran experience and leadership in their own way. But their relationship is impactful on our team.
What was the recruiting process like for them, and what did it almost feel like a tandem thing, like they wanted to be together, or?
Well, it was interesting because, with Brockington having started at his career at St. Bonaventure, there was added familiarity of our program because of what Isaiah had accomplished and, how far he had come in his development. So that was something that stayed with those guys. I know for Jaren, when we talked to him, he remembered Isaiah when they had started recruiting him and talked to other players. And, in a similar light, I think for Jaren, to be elevated and uplifted with his confidence, for him to be able to step up that way is something that intrigued him. And then, Shun's process happened a few weeks after, but I believe that Jaren was drawn to the development plan that we had for him, and that was something with Shun that he was looking for as well. The ability to not only play in the best league in America and play on the biggest stage and play in front of our great fans at Hilton, but also to be challenged from a development standpoint to, expand his game and to be even more. And so I believe that Jaren, having the level of confidence he did and excitement for our program, that helped, that resonated with Shun as well. And so I think Jaren's belief certainly was something that was impactful in Shun making his decision to be here also.
Is Shun, Kelvin, Cato alike? I think I've asked this before.
Yeah, right now I'd say, Kelvin was, there's a physical, force to Calvin's game. Shun's more of a in space, sprint to the rim, fly around. Maybe not quite, I hate to say not as physical, but more. He might be more athletic, better mover, better runner, jumper. Kelvin's a very physical player down there, and Shun needs to continue to work on his body and develop his strength in there. But there's some parallels, like we've talked about with Kelvin. There's some parallels with Jameel McKay, and I'm looking for Shun to be the best version of himself that he can be. But as far as fans are concerned, those are some guys that we've seen play here before, and some things that how he plays might be some similarities.
What are some of your biggest goals for the freshmen this summer?
More than anything, it's just developing those work habits every single day. People ask all the time, like, what's the biggest change from playing in high school to coming to college? And yes, it's a lot more physical. The pace, the speed is a lot faster. To me, as much as anything, it's about the mindset every day that you cultivate to perform at a high level and then do it again the next day. So it's more about your eating, your hydration, your sleep, your stretching, the weight room, the extra shooting, the film, the practice. It's all of that, being able to take that on every single day and then hit repeat. And so I think the greatest challenge for those guys is for our 8 weeks that we have them in the summer to try to be healthy, to continue to learn, but more than anything, it's every day that resiliency to come back, because it's probably more of a grind, and I don't say that in a negative way, but just more of a physical and mental grind every single day than what you're used to before you come. And so far, those guys have all embraced it. They've done a great job, so we're excited about their work habits and what they've done to this point.
What's the reaction of your new guys when you tell them, I assume you tell them the first day of practice, that every day we're gonna eat breakfast at 6:30, whatever it is, together, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't been invited. Every day we're gonna eat breakfast together at a specific time. During the, I assume you do it during the summer,
Mhm.
even. Whereas a lot of people like to sleep in during the summers.
Yeah.
How do they react to that? I mean, it's probably a little bit culture shock for them, maybe not, I don't know.
No, I would say it's really important, and we're very specific in what we look for in the recruiting process, because we want guys that understand that, we believe in our process and our work habits. That builds our unity and our confidence and togetherness. So that's one big piece of it. So it's something we've talked about. Even when we recruited Taman, Eli, Demarion, they knew. For the transfers, not only did they know about it, they came here probably and experienced it on their visit and heard about it from the other older guys who were here. What I've seen, like, this year has been a much smoother transition into that. Those daily habits where guys, when they're showing up, they know. We talk to them a lot and coach them through, this is how you're going to walk through the door. This is how you're going to communicate. This is how you're going to respond to it. So it's not just physically being there, but it's mentally being present with your teammates. And I would say last year there was more of a learning curve in that, where this year it was fairly seamless. Now, we're fortunate to have 5 guys that return to kind of say, this is how we do this. And then also, all of the guys that are now on our roster are guys that signed up for this program, right? Everybody knew what it was and what we were doing. And I don't want to say this is my recruit or that's, that sort of thing. But at the same time, these guys were all very well schooled on what it would be when they got here, so they knew what they signed up for. And it's been really good for us so far. They've been engaged, and I think the sooner mentally you understand that the value of that and the relationship with your teammates, being in a routine and being in a schedule, your game starts to develop and you start to move forward quicker. And I think that's been a big positive for us.
Did you do this at Vegas too?
Yeah, no, it's different variations of what we're doing. I think each place is different, and maybe we're really fortunate at Iowa State to have the resources to be able to feed our guys the way we are. So that's a huge part of it, because for us, they come in the morning, they have a light breakfast before we get going, and then we have a breakfast brought in. We have hot breakfast after practice. So our guys, have already eaten twice by, 9:30, 9:45 a.m. each day, which is huge to get that fuel into their system. So certainly, there's things that we've taken from other places that I'm a big believer in the morning thing and how you build out your day and structure your day. We've always done that. But, we probably are more fortunate here for the resources we have to be able to do it really well.
How was Trey King impacted your program despite the fact he's been there for a while, obviously can't play until whatever, second semester, but it seems like he's a guy I remember being talked about even leading into tournament, kind of a leader, a guy just people can watch.
Yeah, Trey is unbelievable character young man. I mean, just one of those guys, he's going to be successful in life well beyond basketball. He's just a tremendous guy. Like, for him, basketball-wise now, think about the challenge coming in that semester like he did. And as the season wears on, there's not as much competition in practice because you're preparing for games and trying to be mindful of guys' bodies. So really challenging for him to come in when he did. But now to be able to be out there every day, where we're working with Trey is to, be a leader, be vocal, make your personality come out every single possession. And that's our focus with him at this point. Like, certainly he's got a level of physicality, athleticism that translate to being successful in the Big 12, and we'll continue to demand those things for him. But his his success to me is going to be more directly attributed to his ability to have his personality, his engaging personality come out every time he takes the floor.